or imbibing in video, because I'm doing something really kind of interesting. And that is, I'm going to be writing a new book live for the next 301 days whenever I go live. And I'm calling the show BOOKWARD BOUND. 301 days from I should do that to done. So anyway, I'm going to hang up on the old Instagram live and actually go live via Ecamm Live to whatever I have correctly configured on Restream.io, which I believe should be... I'm going to share the story. I'm sharing the story. Which should be doing YouTube Live and whatever else I have configured. At any rate, that's my hero cam. This is my second cam, which I'm going to be upgrading, actually, so that'll be cool. But for now, I'm going to my hero cam because I'm mostly going to be talking about the concept behind it. Okay, so this is Thursday, March 5th, and that's important because it's actually the demarcation of the race that I'm going to be running to create a new book in time for Social Media Marketing World 2021. I've been thinking about writing a new book forever, and a lot of you know who might be watching know that my whole, I don't know, raison d'etre for this earth, or my milieu, to butcher a bunch of French phrases and words, is to bring the power of branding to the masses via nonfiction, or look up in the corner logo, Nonfiction Brandversity, which is actually just a virtual state of mind, or let's call it a campus of mind, where people get together to talk, to share, to curate, to recommend, to refer, and ask questions, and do whatever it takes to build their personal brand, their company brand, their small company brand. And, oh, by the way, secret, they're the same damn thing. If you're a small company, and by small company I mean less than 50 people, your company brand is your personal brand. And I think someone else would agree with me. What do you have to say, Mark Schaefer, in his book, Marketing Rebellion? One of his chapters is the personal brand is the company brand. Oh, my God, when I saw that at his keynote, his final keynote at last year's Social Media Marketing World, I almost had a wonderful coronary, because I've believed that forever, and he makes a very compelling case for it in his book, Marketing Rebellion. But enough about Mark Schaefer. Let's talk about me, shall we? And the me I want to talk about is the me that's been sitting on a book idea forever, since writing Rotoma, the ROI of social media top of mind, with my colleague Spencer X. Smith. And it's based on my, I don't know, getting close to 30 years of experience and expertise in the world of advertising and marketing, and specifically branding. Now, if I'm anything, it's a strategy first person. And I always like to work smart before I work hard. And branding is exactly that. If you brand yourself and your small business well, you're already halfway there, because your story has been figured out. The things that you are uniquely yours are already figured out, and all that stuff. So anyway, this is about creating a book. And actually, one more time, what am I calling this thing? I got to turn on that. Come on, baby. There we go. BOOKWARD BOUND. 301 days from I should really do this to done. Now, why am I doing that? Or why do I think I should really do this? I blame one person. Let me introduce you to her. Both those photos show the lovely and talented Melanie Diesel. Now, if you've got the book, Rotoma, the ROI of Social Media Top of Mind, which you will see in the left-hand photo that Melanie is holding, you will know that I consider Melanie Diesel my social media spirit animal. Why is that? Because in one of the probably episode 50 something of Grant Baldwin's The Speaker Lab podcast, she was on there talking about her journey. I hate that term, but it's apropos. Her journey from I would like to be a professional speaker to I am a professional speaker. And I wrote about how she's inspired me, how I went to school on who she is, what she does, and how she does it. And I didn't want to copy it, but I wanted to be inspired by it, and I certainly was. So when I went to the social media marketing world for the very first time in 2018, I wanted to seek her out to give her a copy of the book to say thanks for letting me use your name and your story in the book. And so the photo on the left was taken then, and you'll notice the reason why I developed the unselfish selfie technique of looking up, because that spiral cut ham in that photo looks really, really bad. The other reason is, why did I grow this thing? I think you can see in the photo at right. Anyway, the photo at left is on the left side is me and Melanie, me giving her a copy of the book and taking a photo and saying thanks. And she was very gracious. She had literally just gotten to San Diego and was on her way to get her photo taken because she was a speaker and I guess they wanted photos or whatever. So I waylaid her for a few minutes and took the photo and said thank you very much, etc. Fast forward to 2020, and guess who's got a book? It's the lovely, talented, and now new mom, Melanie Diesel, and her book that she's holding, she gave to me. It's called Content Fuel Framework. And hold on. Which I have right here. The Content Fuel Framework, How to Generate Unlimited Story Ideas by Melanie Diesel. Bingo. And I said when we took this photo, we inadvertently recreated the photo we had taken 2 years prior, which she pointed out by posting both photos in sequence to Instagram. And when I saw that first photo, I was like, oh, that was great. I really love that photo and all that stuff. Then I saw the second one, which she dug out of her photo stream to post. And I went, oh, that's so hilarious. So I responded back saying, gauntlet thrown. I really need to have a new book by next year, Social Media Marketing World 2021. And it was kind of ha 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 until I had a conversation with a very dear friend of mine, Todd Austin from Fletch Digital in Sydney, Australia. And we were sitting there and talking about, I don't know, all sorts of stuff. And he mentioned a friend of his or an acquaintance of his or somebody down under who went live on, I think it was Instagram, 191 consecutive days because he had a goal. He had a very, very specific goal. And that goal was to compete for a spot in the Australian Open Pro Golf Tournament. I guess this guy is a pro golfer and all that stuff. And frankly, I need to talk to Todd because I'm going to get this guy on my podcast to hear his story firsthand. But Todd was talking about how the guy went on, again, I think it was Instagram Live, 191 days. And he documented everything he did to prepare for the Australian Open or to, you don't audition, you don't try out for it. I think there's actually a tournament if you're not a PGA player to get in there. So I haven't seen any of the videos or anything like that, but I'm sure it was things like today I'm working on my 5-iron. I'm doing chip shots from 40 or 75 yards out or who knows what it was. But he started doing it to an audience of nothing. And over time, over 191 days, he started to achieve some audience. People actually watched. And I'm like, really? And then Todd told the kicker, which was, one, wait for it. Did he get into the Australian Open? No, he did not. He's just like the rest of us, mere mortals. However, a lot of people were really inspired by his journey, and one day he got a check for $10,000 from a guy saying, "I really enjoyed following you in this. Congratulations on a wonderful thing. I was inspired to write you this check for $10,000, so I would like you to donate it to the charity of your choice." Wow. Then another person who had been watching the 191 days or however many videos they saw said something along the lines of, "I don't have $10,000, but I do have $1,000. I'd like you to do the same thing. Donate it to the charity of your choice." So there's a guy who all he did was document his life as he prepared to achieve a goal. It found an audience, and that audience was generous enough to then donate $11,000, at least $11,000, to charity via him. Wow. The cool thing from a brand perspective, if anybody watching that, his journey to the PGA or to the Australian Open needed a golf pro, who you think they're going to call? If any of the people who watched that thing knew someone who needed a golf pro, maybe for lessons or whatever, who do you think they're going to call? If you were programming a quarterly sales meeting and you wanted to do something kind of special, like, I don't know, maybe have a golf pro help all your salespeople become better golfers, who are you going to call? The goodwill generated over 191 days, literally were deposits in the banks, the individual bank accounts of goodwill for all the people who watched. I'm like, that's a cool story. I should put that in a book. And then I thought to myself again, that's not just a good story. That's a good operating strategy for creating content that people actually want to view. Plus, it's a great way to keep you honest when it comes to you actually getting out there and doing stuff or to achieve a goal. This guy kind of did the thing of like going to work out with a buddy. You're mutually responsible to each other. So the day where you don't quite feel like doing it, your buddy's going to say, "Oh, come on, you can't let me down." And you go, "Yeah, you're right, I can't let you down." And then the day they're not feeling it, they're going to rely on you to do the same. So this is me, DP, saying, I'm making a commitment. By January 1st of 2021, I'm going to have a book that is done to the point of getting it to Amazon's Create Space, because I'm going to self-publish again, just like I did with the Rotoma book. And you guys are my accountability patrol. Now, not every day is going to have me talking into camera, blah, 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 blah. Some days it's going to be me doing this. And I'll force you to watch it. So, except I'll do it like this. Maybe I'll have stuff on screen. Maybe I'll open it up. Like, I can do this right now. I can, do you guys mind map? I love mind mapping. Mind mapping is a technique for getting your ideas down. And when you're writing a book, you need a ton of ideas. So I'm going to open up recent. Is it in here? I think it is. A recent mind map I created. Personal branding. Oh, yeah. All right, so this is a... Get it in the right screen. This is a mind map for a series of courses and things like that I've been working on. Well, guess what? The courses are all also going to be the thing that makes the book. I got to transfer it. There we go. And so this is how I'm going to work to create my outline for the book. Mind mapping is cool because you can see all this stuff. Oh, look right down there. There's a topic called Nonfiction Brand book. Let's open that up, shall we? The theory and the practice. That's kind of my top level buckets for the book. Like the first part of the book is going to go into all sorts of stories, the Rosetta Stone of personal branding, which was Tom Peters' 8/13/1997 Fast Company article. Blah, 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 blah. All this stuff that I have yet to write. But this is where I'm going to capture the ideas of the things I'm going to write, because when you write a book, it's like taking a bite out of an elephant. You can't eat the whole thing at one time. You have to do it in a reasonable way. Hold on, I got to tilt that down, get that in the right place. Okay. So it is like eating an elephant. If you look at the whole elephant, you're not going to do it. But if you're going to take that elephant one bite at a time, it might take 301 days to get that elephant eaten, but you will if you chip away at it a little bit at a time. So this is my way of chipping away at it. Already you can see, let's see, if I had 5 pages for each of these, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I could potentially have 55 pages of my book already figured out. Well, let's look over here, the practice. Oh, I got a whole bunch of stuff in here about video and This is how I'm going to eat the elephant that is this book. And by the way, I already have a title. Yeah, you want to know what that title is? Hold on, I want to throw up this again. You don't want to know what the title is? It's surprise, surprise. Nonfiction Brand. Discovering, crafting, and communicating the completely true, completely you brand that you already are. I think I'll take that out. So completely you brand you already are. Because that's the whole thing. The whole thing about nonfiction branding is you already are a brand, whether you like it or not. And the whole thing is a brand, a true brand, a nonfiction brand is completely true to its core essence, its DNA, if you will. The problem is most companies and most individuals have never done the work to figure out what their core essence is, what their seed crystal is, what their DNA is. And here's the thing, DNA is an apt comparison to the process that I do, because think about this. Everything that we are is encoded in DNA. DNA consists of only four amino acids: adenine, cytosine, guanine, and the one I always forget. So everything that I am can be distilled down to 4 amino acids. Wow. So when it comes to branding, the process that I use has a concept called the key 3. What's the key 3? The key 3 is you distilled down, everything, what you do, who you are, and how you do it, or I like to say it this way, who you are, what you do, and how you do it, distilled down into 3 words or very short phrases. For me, I know my key 3. They're creative, collaborative, and provocative. Now, I can go into a lot of detail about what that actually means, which I'm not going to bore you about now. But it's something I'm going to be teaching in the book. Oh, and by the way, if I do this 301 days toward creating a book, I'm actually going to finish it well in advance of the new year. So, knock on wood, I'm not making a 100% commitment here, but knock on wood, I just might have a companion workbook to go along with the book. How cool would that be? So, internets. This is where I need your help. I need your help keeping me accountable. I need your help. Hold on. I want to see if yeah, my comments and reactions are up. I need your help figuring this to keep me honest. But I also am going to probably need your help to A/B test some stuff like, hey, here's a headline I like for a new chapter, or here's a chapter title for this chapter. Here's a different chapter title that I'm considering. Which do you like better? Stuff like that. So during the course of this trek toward book, I'm going to be relying on you to keep me honest, to keep me on track, to serve as my second eyes and ears. And all the way, I think you're going to be osmotically learning what took me a heck of a long time to figure out, and that is how to create a book that can be self-published on Amazon's Create Space. See, okay, one of the things I don't think most people who get Rotoma, this bad boy. All right, let me get rid of that overlay. Oh, where is it? Oh, yeah, I just need to do this. I got to set up my Stream Deck better. Sorry, I got started before I figured everything out. When I created this book, I wanted it to look like a book, which is why there's a blurb up here from Scott Galloway, professor of marketing at NYU Stern School of Business. And there's a blurb back here by Ann Hanley, the queen of content marketing. Both of those people so kindly took a look at the book before it was 100% finished and said some nice things about it. But anyway, this is self-published. And the funny thing is, when I tell people that, they typically say, really? It looks like a book. It's like, well, yeah, of course, I'm making a book. I'm not making a pamphlet under the guise of it being a book and then selling it for 99 cents on Amazon, which a lot of people do. Not slamming them. I'm just saying I have a different goal. And you'll see down here, collaborator publications. I think this new one's going to be courtesy of the Nonfiction Brand Versity Press. Yeah, doesn't that sound cool? And I'm going to design the thing. In fact, one of the first things I'm going to do probably tomorrow during the live stream is show you what I'm working on when it comes to the cover. Why am I starting with a cover? You got to see it to be it. And right above my desk, right over there, I want to be able to look up from my screen and go, yep, that's what's going to be done by January 1st, 2021. But guess what? In creating that cover, you're going to see how you might create a cover for your book. Because here's the thing. Oh, I got to make sure you understand this. I'm doing this for as little cost as possible. For example, this is going through Ecamm Live, which I paid for. But here's the thing, Ecamm Live. I'm not an Ecamm Live Pro subscriber to the software as a service model business. I bought this for, I don't know, $79 3 years ago. And I'm going to keep it that way. Sorry. Am I a cheap-ass rat bastard? You better believe it, because I'm also the father of 2 daughters in college and a third one on the way. So I'm going to use Ecamm Live, which is a fantastic tool, and I can't recommend it enough, but you got to be a Mac user to use it. Sorry, PC. So $79 in that software package. I said goodbye to Adobe Creative Cloud over Christmas, over this past holiday season, because I was sick and tired of paying $59 or whatever dollars a month for access to everything when I only really used one or two of their packages, of their software packages. Instead, I bought Affinity Publisher, Affinity Designer, and Affinity Photo. Is that what they call it? Which is a really great, again, Mac-based alternative. It's a business model that everything was several years ago. You buy it once, you have it until they update it. And if you don't want to update it, just make sure you don't update your OS to a version that they don't support. So, goodbye, Adobe. Hello, Affinity. Thank you guys for jumping into the market, by the way. For people like me, tremendous value, and I really appreciate it. But, so, tomorrow, if you tune in, I'm going to be using Affinity Publisher to create the layout and look of the cover, the spine, and the back. So, one, cover, spine, back. Because here's the thing. To upload all the files you need to upload to create a book via CreateSpace, which is a print-on-demand service that Amazon has, all they need is a cover PDF to certain specifications and the internal guts PDF to certain specifications. And what does that cost? Seriously, you can upload a book to CreateSpace, and the only time anybody pays for that is when someone buys your book. And then they print it. See, here's the thing you don't know for CreateSpace self-published books. They print on demand. So let's say you went to Amazon.com right now to purchase a copy of Rotoma, which you can. It'll say that it's primable, but here's the thing. It's primable, but they have to print it at the printer, and they'll drop ship it from the printer directly to you, and it won't be overnight. It'll probably be a couple days or even more, depending on how many books are in the queue. But the thing is, for me, the book creator, the cost of it is zero. I mean, literally, I'm going to create this book, and the thing I'm paying with is my time, effort, and energy. No dollar. Yeah, that makes this father of college daughters very happy. Anyway, so this is the initial I'm making a commitment video to you. I need you to keep me honest. If you see I'm not on, call me on it. And by the way, you can call me on it by emailing me at dp@dpknudten.com. I mean, it's pretty darn easy to figure out what my email address is because it's my flippin' name. Again, that email is dp@dpknudten.com. The other thing is you can see down in the lower left corner of the screen the @dpknudten. That's my handle on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, you name it. I go by @dpknudten. There was a time when I had different handles for different channels, but I reconciled them. I'm going to go on 3.5, 4 years ago. Why? Because I always wanted to credit people and tag people in photos, but I could never find them. You know, @Pikachu1236, and their avatar photo is actually an illustration of Pikachu. That doesn't help me find you. Now, if you were John Smith, a very common name, you might say, I can't get a good one. I go, I don't know about that. What do you do? Well, I'm a photographer. Okay, how about John Smith photo? And by the way, what am I going to type in first to try to find you? I'm going to type in John Smith. And if I see that there's a John Smith photo and I know you as a photographer, I'm going to look closely. And if your profile pic is actually you, a photo of you taken recently, I'm going to know it's you. And then I get to tag you. You get to see it. You get to help me out with my social media reach. And you get a photo that you might really, really like and want to have. And also we build a stronger bond and relationship between each other. So anyway, it's this little bunch of wisdom every once in a while that's going to come blathering out of my mouth. And you can expect that too. But again, don't be surprised if occasionally you're going to see this. And you'll probably hear me making noises like that as well. Let's see. Let's make a new sibling on this and say blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I'll try not to burp or make other bodily noises, but I can't guarantee that. Cool? That's the deal. That's where I'm coming from. Oh, come on. There we go. So, I've talked long enough for today. I've set my marker on July 1st, 2021. And I'm telling you, I'm looking you right in the eyes and saying, I'm going to have a book that is either completely done and for sale on Amazon, or completely done and ready to go to CreateSpace for putting on Amazon. I'm an idiot. Why? Why am I doing this? It's because I was inspired by this year's Social Media Marketing World 2020. So thanks to Michael Stelzner and the entire Social Media Examiner team for putting on a really fantastic conference. Thanks to Todd and Alex Austin, especially Todd, for telling me that story about a guy who wanted to be in the Australian Open and worked 191 days by doing live streaming video to try to get there. And thanks to Melanie Diesel for raising the bar. Or not the bar. You were raising stakes. Yeah, well, Melanie, I see you and I raise you one book by 2021. And believe me, I'm going to be so happy when I can see you in a hallway, hand you the book, and take another photo to add to our two, that's actually going to create this lifelong series of book photos. All because Melanie Diesel, you're my social media spirit animal. I'm DP Knudten for the Nonfiction Brand podcast, which comes out every Monday. Check it out. In fact, this past Monday features Melanie Diesel because her book just dropped and we talked all about it. I'm also inviting you to join Nonfiction Brandversity, a free Facebook group. All you have to do is search Nonfiction Brandversity on Facebook, ask to join, answer 3 questions to prove you're not a bot, and you're in. And and if you are the type of person who isn't just a taker on social, not just a lurker, not just I'll take whatever's free, but someone who actually gives back, who shares, who curates, who refers, who recommends, I've got another deal for you as well. And it's free. When I say deal, that's not what I mean. That it's not a dollar thing. It's a venue for people who are really serious about building their personal and small business brands the authentic, genuine, dare I say, nonfiction way. The way to find out about that is to go to the Nonfiction Brandversity Facebook group, where you'll see an invitation to this new, yet to be fully fleshed out thing. And I'll give you a hint. If you love Slack, you're going to love this because it's based in Slack. All right? Cool? I'm DP Knudten. I'll see you tomorrow. What have I